What is up, guys? Hurricane Liz here, and in this video we cover once again the hot 5 KDP niches of the week. And now I know what you're thinking, like, can you really come up with 5 more, Liz? Like, you've literally covered the entire ecosystem of KDP, and the answer is absolutely. In fact, one of the niches that I actually harp on is a niche that is gonna hit the top in a couple months. So now is the time to prepare for this particular niche. And if you do, you might just get lucky. Another thing that I do in this video is I analyze one of the books that we mentioned as the very first hot new release category, and we analyze the success it's had to this point and just how much that actual artist is making per day. So I think you're gonna enjoy that. Plus, we have a lot of fun and I cover a heck of a lot more. So I'm excited. I hope you're excited. Let's go ahead and jump straight in. All right, so we're here on my desktop and it is hot here in Miami, I'll say that much. But as usual, we're gonna find the hot new releases of the week. What's hot, what's on fire, what's on KDP. Let's figure all that out right now. And so I'm just gonna Google that, hot new releases, and I'm gonna click into it, and I'm gonna go straight into books. And then again, we're just gonna go straight into children's books. We want a general idea of what's selling well in the niche as usual. And as I said before, I like to teach you guys how to fish instead of do the fishing for you. But in these videos, I do the fishing for you so that you can later on go and fish for yourself. And I sure hope you get whatever the heck yummy kind of fish you want to cook, right? So, all right, as usual, we still see the anti-racism niche doing extremely well, as well as this bedtime story, which I don't think it's ever changed. It's kind of been pretty strong ever since it came out. And as I said before, just for a better general idea of what kind of bedtime stories do I make, well, this person very cleverly made a dragon and other mythical creatures, bedtime stories. People love mythical creatures. I'm talking about dragons, mermaids, cyclops, anything that is folklore or is not proven to be quite real, or who knows, like I thought I saw Bigfoot before, and I showed you in the last video that I was selling his shoe size. So I mean, maybe he does exist. I don't know what to say or not to say, but those are two different ways that you vary and turn things into ideas. But here is my first hot niche that I've seen a trend for in the last couple weeks. And maybe it's just I was never looking for it, but that trend is an anime book. And while, yeah, you can say, well, like Liz, those are anime famous comic books or graphic novels. Right, but what about people that just want to give a gift and they don't know Shanghai Moon or Sailor Moon or whatever in the hell name of these things there is? They just want to give them an anime coloring book. I think a fan of anime would be more than happy to color an anime style related coloring book, because at the end of the day, it is still anime art. And so I would certainly jump out on a limb and say that anime is a pretty solid niche, and it's my #1 niche of the week right now. And maybe I should count this down backwards, but I always do things backwards anyway, so I'm going to continue to do that. So anime is at the top, and you'll see that it comes out in this top reviews, top new releases multiple times. And so it's not the first, and it won't be the last time we see it. And other than that, I'm still seeing the same old things. And then here's my second hot niche of the week, where I did come across a couple books that have this theme. And I think we can all agree at the end of the day that every little girl wants to be a princess. And so as a result, this particular book should be created and themed towards nice little young ladies, right, that want to be princesses. So there's a lot of opportunity with that. And there's also a lot of books that are doing extremely well for that particular thing. And in a second, we will jump into the activity niche so we could see more of what else is going on. As usual, we got unicorns, we've got owls, and here's again another anti-racist coloring book. And as you see, it hasn't been thrown off of Amazon. I know a lot of people were up in arms and saying like, Liz, why are you recommending these books? You can get thrown off. And yes, I agree you can, but you have to not cross that line. So if you have a book about coronavirus, don't claim you can cure that, because nothing cures it right now, other than staying at home, inside, and locked up. I'm now on the second page here and still not really seeing much. I mean, puzzles are always hot, and I mean, that could potentially be a pretty good one, but you have to sort of figure out, how am I gonna weave this puzzle? Like, what is my theme? And right here we have another anime book, and we have another bedtime story book, so it's no surprise why they're at the top of the list this week. And the other thing that I noticed a lot happening is like emojis. and again, preparation for school, which was on there a couple weeks back. And that's pretty much all I found from the top 2 on the hot new releases. But now we're going to jump into activities and we're going to see what else we see. So I'm going to go into activities, crafts, and games, which is where the majority of people list their activity books, and we'll see what else pops up. Once again, there's that anti-racism book that started all this craze of what's going on, and it's still doing strong. In fact, it's now $34.99 in books, and it has 7 reviews. And I'd imagine that the reviews suck, because when I looked in the book, no offense to whoever created this, but it's just flat out just total dog shit. And the theme itself is hot, and the theme itself, the words mean something, but the art in there is total dog shit. It looks like a kindergartner created that thing, and I think every single one of you out there listening that are graphic artists or just motivated individuals could do a better job with this. So let's just take a deeper look, and let's jump into these reviews and take a look at what they say, and then we'll take a look at how much it's actually selling per day. So, mild platitudes, but worthless for actual anti-racist discussion. If you're looking for a book that actually discusses racism directly with pictures to support the discussion, this is absolutely worthless. Book gives generalized and mild platitudes. We all bleed the same color. The only race that matters is the human race. And then adds stylized, mindless patterns with unrelated characters. I completely agree. I certainly don't know what the hell a platitude is, but I can guess that it's not something positive for this book. And I can also guess that it's a pretty spot-on review of the book in general. So again, I am not a fan of the actual art. I don't think it's created by an artist whatsoever. I think it's terrible, and I think I could have possibly even drawn something better myself, and I suck at drawing altogether. I think stick figures could have explained the whole racism bit a lot better than how they actually did it in this book, but it's still selling. So let's take a quick look. And as I said before, no offense to the actual creator, because I think she just hired cheap work and got it done, and it got it done very sloppily, but she just pulled the trigger at the right time. And as I said before, sometimes you can pull the trigger on these books pretty quickly and get rewarded handsomely for it. And so she sells approximately 900 books a month, or 58 per day, which is a fat check. Like seriously, do the math. 60 times whatever in the hell she sells it at whatever price it is. 60 times 9 is 500 and something per day. 540, I think. So 540 something. As you can see, I can't even do math, but I can do this. And it's about a $3 payout, I'd imagine. So $6.99, actually almost a $4 payout on this particular book, and 60 books. So that's $250 a day that this author's making just for pulling that trigger fast, boys and girls. So like I said, when you see these guys on the hot new releases, pounce on that and try to get a book done in a week turnaround and uploaded, traffic run to it and all. So let's go to the rest of these actual books, and let's start taking a look in the activities section. And we are there now. So let's see what else we find, because I think we've only got 2 so far. And that's not good, right? We want more ideas so that we can continue to make more books and be ready for Christmas. All right, so here we go to my third pick of the week. And I've mentioned this one in the past. However, I called it the Dead President's book. But right now, I cannot deny that patriotism is hot. Whether you look at print-on-demand t-shirts with America, and or you look at Kindle books with 4th of July activities, things like that are selling like fire, and so that's why I recommend it. Remember, 4th of July is just around the way, and most people, it's going to be a big change from almost 100 years where we're stuck indoors and we got to watch fireworks if we're brave enough to go out with a mask. Like, coronavirus cases are spiking again, so there's no telling where we're going to be at in 4th of July. And so a lot of parents are going to want to still teach their children how to celebrate 4th of July. Of course, they'll barbecue in-house, but they'll also going to want some activities for them to do. And what better way to take up their time than 4th of July activity books, which are selling fantastic already, just like this presidential election one. So I imagine that they're going to sell even better as the day approaches. And we talked last week about these rainbow books and how rainbows are hot because it is Gay Pride Month, so it would naturally happen that way. But here's another 4th of July book, and that's not surprising. And my next pick is actually this witch book. And you might be wondering, why witches? You've only seen one book like that, and all of a sudden you're on the bandwagon? Yes, I love witches. Witches just fire me up. They're one of those mythical creatures that I enjoy watching stories about and I enjoy reading stories about. And Halloween is right around the corner, so we should technically be preparing for Halloween. So witch books, mark my words, are going to be like the anti-racism books are right now. They're going to be fire in the next month and a half or so. So I would jump on the witch wagon immediately if I could. I'd get my broomstick out. I'd follow the witches into battle wherever they go because they are going to win come October. So witches, that's number 4. Let's continue moving, see if we can find that 5th one. And then I'll give you the 2 bonus niches, which I kind of already spilled the beans on. So we'll talk about those here shortly. Here again, we have another 4th of July book. It's no surprise, like I said, they are popping up and it's a major holiday. These how to draw ones, they're kind of worth just mentioning. I might even put them on the list next week. Here's some cute pets. I always like me some good pets. Blue's Clues is all over the place, as is another copycat dog named Bluey. Like, I'm not actually sure how that didn't get trademark infringement slapped on it, because Bluey and Blue's Clues, they're kind of like the same thing, right? Except Blue's Clues he's a lot cuter dog. The other dog kind of looks like the lady that wrote the anti-racism book colored him, you know, or painted him. But here's another happy 4th of July book, and we keep seeing them and seeing them, so that's kind of why they are at the top, or one of the top ones of my list. All right, here's my 5th and final one, and it is, let's just make a book about a certain animal. We saw sloths are hot, we've seen llamas, we've seen unicorns, which are mythical, but here's a sloth down here, actually, to prove my point. But now we've got the guinea pig. Like, all of a sudden, guinea pigs are in. So books about animals, but remember, I would have probably named this guinea pig something. Like, I would have named him like Guinea the guinea pig or something to that degree. That way you can start to make an entire series about him. And if he catches fire, then so will your entire series. But they didn't do that. They just did a guinea pig coloring book, and it's at the top of the list. And the actual category that they put it in is pet mice, hamster, and guinea pig pet care, which is kind of interesting. So again, this book is fire, and it's my 5th and final one. And then I've got the 2 bonus niches, which are just previous books that have been fire. And those are the anti-racism books and the bedtime story books, of which we saw many in the top 100 for both hot new releases and hot new activity books. So again, I hope you liked this video. I hope I taught you to fish a little bit better. And if you have any questions or comments, please post them below. I always personally answer them, and I'll see you in the next video.